Oregon has a long history of white supremacist organizations in our state. Oregon was first created as a state that literally had in its constitution sundown laws that prevented black folks from being in the state, from being in cities after sundown.
My friend who was from here, Richard, said, you need to realize that we didn't have slavery in Oregon because we didn't want black people in Oregon. Even if they were slaves, we didn't want them here.
There was a lot of discrimination going on because the police didn't know who was documented, undocumented, or a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. And they were just pointing out to what's now ICE, but at that time immigration, where Latinos lived. To me, remind me of Nazi Germany, where Gestapos had free reign. They could do whatever they want, trampling people's rights. And I literally witnessed that.
Oregon's long history with white supremacy is one that we struggle every day to overcome.
Witnesses say it started around 4:30 Friday afternoon when two young women, one of them wearing a hijab, boarded the train, and Jeremy Christian immediately went on a hate-filled tirade.
When I heard about the white supremacists killing people on the Max here in Portland, I was in Europe. My first response was, that could have been me, because I know that had I been on the Max, I would have gotten up and I would have done something, and I know other people who would have too. The second was just a deep sadness, and I feel it now.
When we look at Oregon's history and our struggle around white supremacy, it makes what Oregonians for Immigration Reform is doing even more disturbing. Oregonians for Immigration Reform receives thousands of dollars of support from national white supremacist organizations. Oregonians for Immigration Reform brings speakers that are connected to national networks into the state of Oregon. They host far-right and extremist speakers. They work with and collaborate with fringe organizations here in Oregon whose sole mission is to scare, target, and shift the debate around immigration and communities of color in the state. IP 22 would take us back to a time when it was okay for local law enforcement and state law enforcement to racially profile communities of color and immigrant communities. That's part of the playbook that we see white supremacist organizations across the country utilizing right now. They want to divide and conquer communities. They want to elevate a debate that's about who's an American, and their answer to that is not Oregon's answer.
This is the time that we need to come together to decide that we don't have to be in agreement about everything in order to be in agreement about this thing. We need to decide to move forward, to be loud in that movement, to be relentless in our quest for justice, not just for one group, but for all of us.